Hello, this is Brendan Wilmington of the Left Turn Network, and welcome back to the Lumen Stock Car Invitational, season number 3, race number 16, and we are in Sparta, Kentucky, a little town halfway between Louisville and Cincinnati, here at the Kentucky Speedway, and this is going to be a fun race for sure. This is the first time that we have been to Kentucky in the Cup Series. The Amateur Series did go here last year, and the race was a bit disappointing. But to be frank, we were running the wrong chassis type, so that probably explains it. And the test races have definitely cooked. I'm joined alongside the Kentuckian himself, Caleb Rose, and he's back for, I guess, the third time this season since his commentary for the All-Star race is now lost media. But Caleb, you've seen a couple races at this version of Kentucky, and you know just how crazy it can be and how very far away it is from the original Kentucky in real life. Can you give us a bit of a preview of what we're expecting for this race?
Yeah, definitely. This is going to be a very, very fun race. Like you mentioned, it's going to be very chaotic. Yeah, like you said, this Kentucky is completely different from the Kentucky that we saw in real life. It's absolutely chaotic. There's a lot of passing. Usually see a lot of lead changes. I have to see how it all goes down here tonight, but all I do know it's going to be fun, going to be chaotic, and it's going to be a very interesting race to see how it develops. But yeah, really looking forward to this one.
Absolutely. On the front row, you see that Quaker State green all over the racetrack. It is the Quaker State car that is starting on pole here today. It's Shauna Everett in the 57. I don't remember if this is her first pole of the season. She might have gotten a pole at Rockingham, but I don't know for sure. Either way, good qualifying run for her starting on pole. Alongside her is the 79 car of Kobe Hollenbeck. Row number 2, it's the 88 of Joe Smith and the 66 of Tyler Landry. Row number 3, it's George Bryan in the 01 and Ashley Blake in the 36, who's been struggling this season, but a top 5 start could definitely do her some good here today. Billy Smith, the Lumen 500 winner in row number 4, alongside the 99 of Akia Tajima. Then we have Tim Berry, your current points leader by 16 points over the 3 car of Montana Sherman. He's starting pretty good here today, alongside the 45 car of Rebecca Raymond. Karina Willis Calloway and Jack Gino make up row 6. That's 2 of your championship contenders from season 1. Karina Willis Calloway, she's ninth in points right now despite missing 2 races. So, she's still a championship contender, I'd say. Holly Martin in the 6 car had a good run last week at Denver, trying to keep that momentum going. And the 77 of JT Boyd trying to stop the backslide that he's been going on. He's down to 18th in points after being top 10 in points most of the season. Charlie McCarron, a new look for that 85 car, the high V car going forward. Instead of red on black, it is now black on red. So it'll definitely pop out a lot more, that's for sure. And alongside her is the 18 of Zach Dearman. Then it's the 24 of Cooper Spur alongside the 52 of Adrian Fearson. The 8 car of Darren Walker, third place in points, and the 5 of Joanna Clark in another car with a new look. It kind of went in the opposite direction of the 85. This car is now a black car with red on it, based on the Xfinity car that JGR has been running in the 20 car in Xfinity with the Gazzy Racing decals. Adrian Wheeler in the 28 alongside the 39 car of Lake and Herndon. Then it's the 92 of Kate Summers and James Harvin in the 50, who barely made the race. He was on the outside looking in for most of bump practice, but he managed to turn the 8th fastest lap with 1 minute left in bump practice. So he clutched up and he's in the race here alongside his brother, Michael Harvin, who's in the row behind him. And alongside Michael Harvin is the 25 of Luana Connie, who had her first top 10 of the year at Denver. Then it's the 81 of Latanya Gray and the 3 of Montana Sherman, who is now second in points after he had a good run at Denver, and most of the other championship contenders didn't. So he gained a lot of points, but he's going to be starting deep in the field. But this is a track where you can definitely win from deep in the field, especially with the amount of passing we're going to be seeing. Andrew Kreiner in the 70 car alongside the 62 of Vinny Scholes. Corbin taps the Kentucky native himself with KFC on the car. He's starting deep in the field. He also won this. He won the amateur race that we mentioned earlier in dominating fashion. So definitely look for Corbin Taps to get up there and contend. This will be quite a place for him to get his first win, but he's going to have to do it from 31st on the grid. Alongside him is the 29 of JB Chanot. Lori Jackson in the 7 and Jacob Lopez in the 1, starting row 17. And rounding out the field is the 4th place car in points, the 98 of Kevin DuPont. We're going to have 67 laps here today. I'm pretty sure this is going to be a 2-stop race. And that'll definitely make things interesting if we go green the whole way. There have been quite a few races that have gone green the whole way, but this one's definitely not guaranteed to. In fact, I'd be willing to bank on at least one caution in this race, given the racing we're going to see here today. But we'll find out and see what's going to happen here at the Kentucky Speedway.
Drivers, start your engines!
And the field will roll off on the back straightaway. Check for any mechanical failures. Damage 0, those two were from beforehand, so that won't affect the 99 at all. So we are all good here on the start. And Caleb, it's going to be hard to pick a winner from this race, but could you at least try?
Yeah, it's probably going to be pretty difficult considering how much swapping for the lead and pass we might see, but you know what? I think I'm going to go with that 65 there of Jack Gino, starting a couple rows back there on the inside. He's had kind of an off season so far this year, but hopefully maybe he can turn it around here today.
It would be his second win this season on a 1.5-mile track. He won at Las Vegas. Had a pretty good run there, so I could definitely see him winning this race. It's Shauna Everett and Kobe Hollenbeck. They're going to lead them to the green flag, and we are racing here at Kentucky. Oh, they're leaning on each other coming out of turn number 4. Shauna Everett is going to lead the first lap, and they were 3 by 3 behind her. The 11 and 08 got pretty close off the exit of 4, and I was worried that they'd get into each other and cause an accident, but they kept it clean. And now it's a Blake Everett Motorsports 1-2 as Ashley Blake has found Shauna Everett, and now they're going to go side by side for the lead coming out of turn 4 to complete lap number 2. Again, they're getting very close to each other off that corner, but they keep it clean once again.
A lot of shuffling here early on in the going already, as we are 2-3 wide throughout the entire field. But up front, Ashley Blake is going to take the lead away from her teammate Shauna Everett. But Everett trying to cross the 36 over. She's going to get back down to the inside, and they're going to stay side by side for the race lead off of turn number 4. You're also side by side back there for third between George Bryant and Tyler Landry. Bryant trying to clear him on the inside, just barely going to clear him into turns 1 and 2. And Landry goes really wide there, so Bryant will be able to clear, but they stay side by side for the race lead, and we got a hornet's nest in the back.
They almost got together. Oh, they're going 4
wide.
4 wide going into turns 3 and 4. There is enough room in the corners for that to work, it's at least in 3 and 4. And the 41 is going to back out of it. But I was going to point out the 70 and 16 almost got together off of turn 2, and that would have been a big crash into the inside wall if that had happened. But thankfully, they all kept it together for now, as Shauna Everett's going to read. Oh, they're into the wall. They're crashing.
Oh,
never mind. It looks like they kept it straight. There was some smoke, but it was the 41 of Karina Willis-Callaway. That's some heavy damage to the side. Charlie McCarran and Jacob Lopez were also involved. Oh boy, that was almost a wreck right there. But we stay green. They kept it straight, but unfortunately a lot of cars with damage there. 41, the 85, and the 1.
Kind of crazy that they were able to keep it straight there, but yeah, they were able to keep it going, and we stay green for the time being. But yeah, tough break for all 3 of those guys. Karen, Callaway, and Lopez. Really going to put them behind the 8 ball for this one, but look at Tyler Landry in the 66, got past George Bryant, got past Ashley Blake, who's now slipping back on that outside. And now Landry looking to potentially challenge Everett for the race lead, as Bryant sitting pretty comfortable in 3rd right now, and they're battling for 4th between Barry and Gino. It looks like Barry's going to be the benefactor of that, but for the race lead, here comes Tyler Landry, taking a peek to the inside for the lead through 3 and 4.
That inside lane is very strong in turns 3 and 4. Landry trying to gain some ground on the title race. He's 5th in points right now.
Oh, he's got it.
Gain on his teammate, Tim Barry. But Barry is in 4th right now, so he's having a solid run as well. Your pick to win, Jack Gino. He's in the top 5 right now. He had to check up in turns 1 and 2, so he's not going to get the spot from Barry. And in fact, he might lose the spot to Ashley Blake here, who's going to try and move up into 5th. Kate Summers and Billy Smith battling each other behind. That 92 car, I don't think she started in the top 10, so she's been making her way through the field by the looks of things. But Tyler Landry holding on to the lead for now. We'll see if Everett's going to be able to mount a charge on him. Barry tried to send it for 3rd place on Brian, but he really did not get a good roll through the corner. And now there's a bit of a gap between the first 3 cars and everybody else.
Good run for the 92 of Kate Summers. I'm pretty sure she started out towards the back of the field. So she has really been making it to the field now, going under Ashley Blake to get her stuff up into the top 5. Meanwhile, George Bryan taking a peek to the inside of Shauna Everett there for 2nd. But Everett's going to roll that top really well if they wanted to and hold on to the position. But yeah, Kate Summers now up into the top 5. Here comes the 6 as well of Holly Martin trying to make their way through the field.
And Holly Martin has had, her struggles have been well documented this season in that 6th car, but she has had a little bit of success as of late. She got a top 10 at Denver. She won the All-Star Open, which didn't end up in the recording, but she did win that race. So she's starting to find her footing here at McPickey Motorsports. She just needs to get those runs more consistently in that 6th car, because it's definitely been a rough go of it for Holly Martin in that brand new team. Sometimes when you move to a new team, it takes a bit to gel, and maybe that's what's happening with Holly Martin. As she's getting passed by Ashley Blake here. But it's nice to see the 6 car running up front again. It's especially nice to see Holly Martin running up front again. As for the race lead, here comes Shauna Everett back underneath the 66 of Tyler Landry into turn 3. Brian and Barry also trying to follow suit down low. Is Brian going to try and get underneath Everett off of turn 4? He is.
He's got the nose down the front straightaway, side by side, and George Bryant has help from behind from the 11 of Tim Barry, who's trying to get down to the inside, but just can't get there. They're going to go 3 wide for 2nd behind the 01 of George Bryant, but what a move there from that 01 car. He's going to take the race lead away, but he's got Tyler Landry right on his back bumper still. Shauna Everett tried to roll the top there, didn't quite get it to work. How about Kate Summers through the middle?
Kate Summers trying a unique kind of pass right there in between the 57 and the 11. She's going to get by the 57, and it looks like she might get back by the 11 too, because the 11 cannot hold the bottom very well. Holly Martin is up here. We've got 3 of the McPickey cars up here at the front, and Summers is up to 3rd, going for 2nd. She is just slicing and dicing her way through the field, and it is getting hectic up here at the front. She might be going for the lead here next lap. Landry holding on to it for now, but the McPickey Motorsports train is rolling as 3 of their cars now sit in the top 5. The Blake Everett cars are now stuck battling each other for 6th. We've got a bit of a group here for the top 10, and then a gap back to Rebecca Raymond and Vinnie Scholes in 11th and 12th. But this racing has been phenomenal so far here today, as we kind of expected from this track. And here comes the 92 of Kate Summers,
here we
looking
go
to the inside of Tyler Landry. Looking for another lead change here in this race, and we're going to get it.
That 92 is absolutely on rails right now, and to the race lead goes Summers, but here comes the 11. Tim Barry takes a peek to the inside of the 92 now. They're going to go side by side down the back. Tyler Landry trying to maybe get a run on these 2. We'll see if he does anything through 3 and 4. Here comes the 6. Holly Martin trying to take the spot away from George Bryan. Both Landry and Summers slid up the track a bit. Here comes Martin down to the inside, 3 wide for 2nd. Is she going to have enough of a run? She's going to try and stay at the quarter panel. Oh, look out. Almost just got ran over by George Bryan going into the corner. And they're going to stay side by side as they go down the back.
It's a McPickey Motorsports 1, 2, 3 right now, but they're definitely not. Oh, look out. Kate Summers got into the 66. Wide. They're 4 wide off of 4. That's a dangerous spot to go 4 wide, but they keep it going as the 92 got into the... Oh, my goodness, be careful. Turn 1's an even more dangerous spot to go 4 wide. Landry finally backs off. Very smart move there. Akia Tajima, you see, looking to the inside. But it all started when that 92 bumped the 66 going into turn 3. And that created a very sticky situation there. How about Holly Martin up to second now, trying to run down the points leader, Tim Berry. And there are a lot of drivers that do not want to see this 11 car leading right now. He's already got a decent size, not like safe by any means, a solid 16-point lead. But if he wins here today, he could definitely grow that lead by a bunch.
Definitely. He's looking to extend that points lead, and everybody else behind him definitely does not want that. But still got a long ways left to go in this race. But Barry looking really strong here for the time being, trying to pull away a little bit with the race lead as they battle behind him. And it looks like George Bryan's gonna clear Holly Martin, but here comes the 57 of Shauna Everett. This is probably what Barry wants to see. If these guys keep battling, that could allow the 11 to kind of either pull away or at least hold a steady lead to the rest of these guys. But we'll have to wait and see how things go.
Everett looking to the inside of George Bryan for second. Trying to mount another run on the 11 car, and I noted that the 11 was struggling to hold the bottom in turns 1 and 2, but he made that pass in turns 1. Oh, something's wrong!
Oh no!
He blew a tire! The
Oh,
three's
there
gonna run
goes
into him!
the
Oh, he's upside
Oh
down!
my goodness!
Oh, and Taps runs into it as well. DuPont's spinning out. Walker's involved. Oh my goodness gracious. Sherman's
Lori
still on his
Jackson,
lid. He's
Corbin
spinning like a
Taft,
top. He gets hit
Tanya
again. The
Gray.
caution is out. And he's still spinning. Finally comes to rest. Montana Sherman slid down basically the whole back straightaway on his roof. And a lot of cars involved in that. Kevin DuPont, Jacob Lopez. We noted Darren Walker, and of course the leader, points leader and race leader, Tim Berry, has a tire failure from the lead, and it causes a massive stack up off of turn number 2.
That did not just happen.
Oh my goodness. Well, Caleb, it's not the first time you've seen something like that happen this year in this game, but it's the first time
Nope.
we've seen it in this series, and everyone's going to come and take this opportunity to pit here on lap number 22. Corbin Taps, Lori Jackson. There's a lot of cars getting involved in that, a lot of big hits in that. The three got flipped upside down off of turn 2 and then got hit multiple times down the back straightaway. We hope he's okay. And my goodness, McCarran and Karina had their own thing off on like lap 5 or something. Summers and Dearman coming off the pit lane right now. We'll see who gets away with the race lead. And it looks like it will be Summers. Summers and Dearman, first and second. Did they try a different strategy, or did they just have a really fast pit stop? They just had really fast pit stop. 14.3 on the 18 car. Holy moly. So, Kate Summers is now going to have the race lead after that caution. A multi-car crash out of turn number 2. A lot of big hits in it. And at least 4 cars out of the race. Rebecca Raymond is out. Sherman is out. Corbin Taps. Darren Walker. Oh, looks like Joanna Clark has damage as well. And a slow stop for the 57 of Shauna Everett. So she's going to have to make up some ground here in this race. Kevin DuPont, Jacob Lopez, among the others involved. And I don't expect Tim Berry. Oh, no, he's coming back out. So Tim Berry will be out there. He needs the points to keep his points lead. So I get it. We'll see if he manages to stay on the racetrack, So big crash off of turn number 2 brings out the first caution of the race. We'll get you your replay of that, and then we'll get you back to the restart here on lap number 26. Well, the first caution of the day is a big one here in Kentucky. Tim Berry from the race lead just on the brakes. The tire goes, and everyone is left to their own devices as they scramble to try and avoid him. Montana Sherman, unfortunately, gets into him, and then pow! Right into the driver's side door. Rebecca Raymond sends him over. Corbin Taps gets involved. Kevin DuPont, LaTanya Gray, Lori Jackson, Darren Walker. And the 3 car just spins like a top down the back straightaway. I'm sure he needed a barf bag after that. Sure wish he had one. And then one last hit right there from Corbin Taps definitely did not help matters as the 3 car almost lands back on the wheels, but ends up staying on the roof. And that was a nasty, nasty flip for the 3 of Sherman. Not that he flipped that many times, he just kept spinning and spinning and spinning. And if at the very least made him dizzy. So that was a big crash for him. And that involved a lot of high up drivers and points. Like we pointed out, Tim Berry, the points leader and race leader. Sherman was in it, who was second in points. DuPont, fourth in points, was involved. And Darren Walker, who was third in points, was involved. So the entire top 4, actually, in the point standings were in that crash. And all of them have significant damage as a result of that. So that was a massive crash, not just in terms of scope and scale, but in terms of points implications as well.
Well, a pretty violent accident here at the Kentucky Speedway as Tim Berry blows a tire from the lead in turns 1 and 2. Everyone trying to take evasive action, and goodness gracious, ton of Sherman just nowhere to go, gets into the 11 of Tim Berry, goes up the racetrack and gets absolutely bodied by the 45 of Rebecca Raymond, and goes upside down, spins around like a top, and gets hit there by the 16 of Corbin Taps before eventually coming to rest upside down on the backstretch. And yeah, big accident here involving multiple cars, like I said, including Sherman, Tim Berry, and a couple others like Taps, LaTanya Gray, Darren Walker, Kevin DuPont. A lot of big names involved in that accident, like Darren Walker, Kevin DuPont, all those other guys. That's first, second, third, and fourth in the point standings involved in this accident.
Riding on board on the rear bumper of Montana Sherman. Hang on. That was not a fun sound, that last impact there with Corbin Taps, that's for sure. Welcome back here at the Kentucky Speedway, wrapping up our first caution of the day. 4 cars out of the race after the multi-car accident off of turn number 2. That all started when Tim Berry blew a tire from the race lead, and then Montana Sherman ran him over and ended up upside down. It's him, Taps, Walker, and Rebecca Raymond, who are all out of the race here today. And you know, Raymond's season just keeps getting worse, so that's unfortunate for her. Pace car's going to pull off. Kate Summers and Zach Dearman both had very good pit stops. They're going to lead the field to green, with Holly Martin, Tyler Landry, and Akia Tajima rounding out your top 5. And we have these 2 slow and damaged cars on the inside. Oh boy, Lori Jackson. I was saying during the break, it looked like they did a good job of repairing the 7 car, but evidently there's still something very wrong with that car, and I don't think she's going to be on the track very much longer.
No, it looks like Berry, while off the pace, I guess can hold speed decently well, but that 7, yeah, there's got to be something very internally wrong with Lori Jackson's car, because visually it looks fine, but it's very, very off the pace, and fortunately that's going to kind of stack everybody up, and we got a hornet's nest once again back here.
Ooh,
but
we missed a pass.
Pretty calm up front, but Zach Dearman to the point.
You know, it was bound to happen at some point in this race. You know, you always say they always pass for the lead when you're not looking, and they're passing for the lead all the time at this track, so it's kind of inevitable. But Zach Dearman got the jump on Kate Summers on that restart, but Summers trying to get the run back on him and try and get back by him. Martin and Tajima are side by side for 3rd, and then it's Landry in 5th. Vinny Scholes and George Bryan battling each other for 6th back here. It kind of splintered up, but the pack is still pretty close together, especially back here. The 11 of Tim Berry is also slow, but not nearly as slow as the 7 was. So he might avoid getting DVP'd here in that 11, and that could be big unless there's a wreck here. Oh, the 52!
Oh my goodness!
5 wide! Oh my goodness!
Look at that. Oh!
Somehow they lived through that. I can't believe it. They went 5 wide and survived.
Oh, we're still 4 wide.
We're not done. Oh, the 5 is in the wall. Joanna Clark in the 5. And that is a shame for that 5 car. I mean, it looks like she already had damage, and now she's got more on the side, so that's unfortunate for her. But thankfully, it didn't. Oh no!
Oh,
Holodeck into the wall. Oh, and Harbin is gonna miss him. We're not even gonna get caution for that because he never went all the way
Team
around.
green.
But we're not done yet. The 88's starting to hold up cars. He's got front end damage and side damage. What on earth is happening?
Goodness gracious.
All this happening while up front, Kate Summers took the lead back from Dearman, and now Dearman's making another charge underneath the 92 car.
Tyler Landry also looking to get back up here. Landry, he knows he's got an opportunity now because, like I mentioned during the caution break, that was first, second, third, and fourth in the point standings involved in that accident. And Tyler Landry coming into this race 5th in points. This is a huge opportunity for him to gain a lot of points on our top 4, so he wants to definitely get the most of that. And
Oh my
goodness, he might be
about
trying a little bit too hard.
He just about turned Akiya Tajima. Goodness gracious. Kate Summers back in front. She and Dearman have been swapping the lead back and forth just about every lap since the restart. But Tajima's looking to spoil the party now. Here comes the other Pacific Racing car. Vinny Schulz lurking just outside the top 5. So Pacific Racing's had a rough couple of weeks, but now they're looking pretty good here as we get to the midway point of the race. And Dearman might have another charge here for Kate Summers. Going underneath, we're going to check on the 7. Oh, the 79 is behind the 7 car and is running slower than her. So both of them are probably going to get DVP'd eventually. Oh, we're going to go 3 wide for the lead.
We're going to go 3 wide for the lead.
Oh, Tajima got it. It almost got into the 18 off the corner and he backed up.
Not quite going to back off there, as they're going to stay side by side for the race lead. Dearman's going to take the spot. Akiya Tajima kind of backed the corner up and is going to get a good run off and is going to get underneath the 92, excuse me, of Kate Summers. Here comes the 62 of Vinny Schultz as well. I'd watch out for the 62. Started, I think, towards the back of the field as well, and finally getting in some pretty clean air. And if I remember correctly, Schultz set the fastest time in bump practice. So we know Schultz has got a good car. I have to see what that 62 can do now that it's up towards the front.
Not only did she set the fastest lap of bump practice, she has the second fastest lap of the race, only behind Shauna Everett. So this 62 is very quick. Definitely a car to look out for. These are some cars to look out for too, but not for the right reasons. I'll just have that ready for a couple of laps from now. You know, we let them run until they're within a certain distance of the leaders, because you never know if it turns into a caution fest. And they technically won't end up being a hazard. But here comes Tajima. He's going to take the lead here in the 99 car. That's his first lap led of the race on lap 36. And these Toyotas are starting to come on strong here late in the race. It was mainly the Chevys up there towards the front. You know, the Ford started up towards the front with the qualifying speed, but now it's the Toyotas starting to kick it in. In the long run, we have 4 of them inside the top 7 right now. And now is the time to pull them off the racetrack. Honestly, I might have waited a little too long.
Oh boy.
And I did. So they're going to get in the way of the leaders. That's my bad. I should have done it last lap. So hopefully they'll stay out of the way as much as possible, but they're right in the racing line. And that's going to bunch things up. That's also going to make it hard for them to pull into the pits if they're getting passed. So, you know, I was worried I'd do that eventually, but... Oh, man. Oh, they're not going to let the 79 through. Oh, the 7's going to get into the 92! No! Oh, no! And the second caution of the race is out. And that was a completely preventable caution. Oh, no, the 36 gets run over. And we got more cars crashing. Joe Smith.
Kreider and Joe Smith.
Oh, boy. Oh, we're not done. Kevin DuPont piles into the wreck, too.
Oh, and they're still wrecking, I think. Tim Berry.
More damage
Even
on
more
the 11.
damage to the 11.
And that was a complete flub by the officiating. Waited too long to pull them in. Underestimated how slow they were. And the second caution of the race on lap number 38. A crash on the front straightaway. It was completely preventable. Everyone's going to come in and pit. We'll see what happens after the pit cycle. And that's probably going to take DuPont out of the race. It'll probably take Joe Smith out of the race. So that's more cars in the top 10 in points that are going to get taken out because of that. Barry has more damage, and he's out too.
And he's out.
George Bryan is going to get the lead through all that. JB Chanot is now
JB
second.
Chanot. Billy Smith. How about that?
Ooh, Landry had a slow pit stop.
Landry. Might have had to repair a little bit of damage, perhaps.
Maybe. He might have gotten in that scuffle there with the 7 and the 92. So second caution of the race is out, and it was another multi-car accident, this time off of turn 4, as cars that were supposed to get out of the way of the leaders came into the pits, and it ended up ruining the days of several other cars. Kate Summers is going to come back out there. We'll see how much damage she had. But top 5 is George Bryan, JB Chanot, Billy Smith, Zach Dearman, and Vinny Schulz as we head to the restart here on lap number 41. Well, here's the second caution of the race. This is one of the stupidest cautions we've ever had. Lori Jackson had room down on the inside to try and pull into the pits, but instead she stayed up top and then tried to pull in while there was a car underneath her. And, she could have been waved earlier, the lap before, to try and avoid this scenario to begin with. But Jackson also just needs to know, the protocol for going down there. So that's partly on the officials, but also on Jackson for that. Ashley Blake got involved in that, and then she got run into by Lakin Herndon and Joe Smith. Andrew Kreider gets involved as well. And they're all going to get heavy damage. Jackson making a bit of a beeline to the pits, and then these last couple impacts from the already wounded Kevin DuPont and Tim Berry. They probably thought the 70 was going to stay up on the outside like the 88 was, but Kreider did not hold the brakes, and DuPont ended up smashing right into him. And the 11 of Tim Berry also got a little bit of damage, sideswiped them, and that was enough to create even more damage on the 11 that'll probably take him out of the race. So more points implications from that accident, and an accident that was completely avoidable either by official or driver. So definitely not a situation you want to see in these races, but that's just how it works sometimes. When you got cars off the pace and you got to get them off the racetrack, sometimes that's gonna happen.
Pretty interesting accident here to say the least, as Lori Jackson, trying to come down the pit lane to serve that DQ, runs into Kate Summers and kind of gets swirly up the racetrack and ends up in a chain reaction, taking out multiple cars, including Ashley Blake, Lakin Herndon, Andrew Kreider, Joe Smith, and that is going to take the wounded Kevin DuPont and Tim Berry out of the race as they come barreling in, taking the caution flag, and both just kind of run over the spinning Andrew Kreider and Joe Smith. So, really tough break for everybody involved. But, man, I guess Lori Jackson wanted to go out with one final bang before she came into the pits to get DQ'd, and I guess in the process took out an Ashley Blake Motorsports car, so I'm sure Checkered Flag Racing's probably at least happy about that.
Yeah, maybe she thought the 92 was the 36. They're both red and white cars. Maybe she got her colors confused. I don't know, but yeah, that was definitely an accident that happened, and that's going to cause the second caution of the race. All these cars come in and pit. They should be able to make it to the end off of this pit stop, so should be a straight shot to the end of the race from here, assuming we don't get any more cautions. So we'll get you back with the restart here on lap number 42, and we're going to try and end this thing here at Kentucky. Welcome back here at Kentucky Speedway on lap number 41. We're going to restart on lap 42. Multiple cars taken out due to that. The 79 and 7 were, of course, DVP'd, and as they were entering the pits, the 7 of Lori Jackson caused a major accident. Kevin DuPont, Joe Smith, Andrew Kreider, Ashley Blake, Tim Barry, Laken Herndon are all out, and the 24 of Cooper Spur blew up under caution. It was a valve that took him out of the race. We're going to be restarting with about 25 laps to go. We still got plenty of racing left to go. George Bryan, JB Chanot, Billy Smith, Zach Dearman, and Vinny Scholes are going to take the green flag, and we are back underway here at Kentucky.
Great jump there on the start from JB Chanot, trying to take the lead already from the 01 of George Bryan. Got a good run through turns 1 and 2, and he's going to clear Bryan for the race lead. Haven't really seen JB Chanot at all so far here tonight, but he's going to go to the race lead. He's going to try and kind of air block the 01 of George Bryan. He's going to be able to hold him off for the time being. And here comes the 62 of Vinny Scholes and the 18 of Zach Dearman, two cars that we know are fast. We've seen that they've got speed so far here in this race. Scholes trying to make her way back up towards the front, battling with George Bryan, who has actually got a little bit of help on the outside from Billy Smith and Akita Tajima. And props to Billy Smith. The career he's had has been absolutely incredible. Honestly, kind of gone from just...
Wow.
Oh, big move there from Bryan. He's going to take the lead. Wow.
I don't know if the 29 bobbled or if the 01 just got a huge run. It might have been a little bit of both, but that was a fantastic move by George Bryan. I was going to point out JB Chanot. She's been kind of invisible this season in general, and she's coming up on a contract year here with Columbia Motorsports, so she's definitely got something to race for. They're three wide bouncing off each other back there. Luana Connie and Adrienne Pearson. That was a close moment, and now Karina Willis-Callaway, her girlfriend's going to follow her down on the inside lane. Ooh, you do not want to get into her, and she won't. But you know, honestly, all things considered, Karina Willis-Callaway running 16th, not that bad of a recovery for that 41 car after the incident early in the race. As for the race lead, Vinny Scholes took it. Akita Tajima's looking to take it. They're three wide behind them for third. And these drivers have not gotten any less aggressive than they were at the start of the race. So definitely a lot of action still yet to be seen here. And they should be able to make it to the end after that second pit stop. So I don't think we have to worry about pit stops anymore. So this will just be a straight shot to the end. And Tajima is going to reclaim the lead in the 99 car.
Tajima holding strong with the race lead for the time being. And now that we've kind of bunched everybody back up and some cycling has gone through with pit stops, we're seeing a lot of new faces up front, like the 50 of James Harvin, who's right now running inside the top 5. How about that for the 50 of James Harvin? Looking to make a good impression for all of these Cup Series teams. And he's going for fourth now on JB Chanot. Michael Harvin leaning there on the 08 to Billy Smith. Luckily, they're going to keep it together. And for the race lead, we're going side by side as Vinny Scholes trying to take it back away from Akita Tajima. And they're going to go side by side through 3 and 4. Chanot's going to hold off Harvin and is now going after Dearman again for third. And we got a lot of battling going on back there. Got Martin side by side with Everett, who's now going to go to the top of 3 wide with Adrienne Wheeler and Luana Connie. That's another driver who, well, you mentioned JB Chanot, trying to maybe even be potentially fighting for her contract. There's another one, Adrienne Wheeler. A lot of rumors been going around about her future with Checkered Flag Racing. So this could be the fight for the 28 car for Adrienne Wheeler. Good showing so far here today. Kentucky, though, looking to try. Well, she's made it up into the top 10 right now, looking for a good finish here tonight.
Adrienne Wheeler, 15 races, 0 top 10s. He has made every race, so that is something to be proud of, but he hasn't really done much in the races themselves. Looking for that first top 10, that could be a big step in keeping him in that 28 car. And the 99 of Akita Tajima's back underneath the 62 of Vinny Scholes. James Harvin trying to make it 2 weeks in a row that an amateur series driver goes to victory lane. That was close there between him and the 62 of Vinny Scholes. JB Chanot, Holly Martin rounding out your top 5. Dearman kind of fell back. George Bryan also fell back. And how about Adrienne Pearson running inside the top 10 again? She's been impressive in this 52 car when she's been in it. Who knows? Maybe she can make her way up towards the front and fight for the win. But they're fighting for second right now as Harvin's trying to get under Scholes. And this is exactly what Tajima wants to see. They're fighting each other and not him. Luana Connie and Adrienne Wheeler both making headway down on the inside lane. Those cars are looking pretty fast late in the run. Maybe they'll have something to say about it. once this race starts getting down to it. Wheeler around
Boy,
the
great
outside.
run
That's going to
from
put him in the
Wheeler.
top 5.
And Wheeler went for an absolutely crazy move there back in 3 and 4. Stuffed it through the middle, made it work, and now Wheeler's up into the top 5, looking to take another spot away from the 6 of Holly Martin. That 28 is really coming alive here late in the run. So is the 52 of Adrienne Pearson, who's also charging their way through the field, now underneath Zach Dearman in the 18 for the 7th position. See, maybe even potentially some gummers and goers here, especially here late in the going. But how about Adrienne Wheeler now up to the 3rd position? That 28 car is looking really fast here tonight, and definitely a good statement for Checkered Flag Racing.
They're looking for back-to-back wins here today. Vinnie Scholes in 2nd, looking for her first career win. She's one of 2 drivers, her along with Charlie McCarron, who started all 56 LSCI races and is yet to score a victory. But of course, McCarron has won a couple exhibition races. Vinnie Scholes has won absolutely nothing. She wants to get that goose egg off of her record. And you know she's going to be fighting very hard with Akiya Tajima. And Scholes has been pretty decent, especially as of late in that 62 car. So you got to think eventually the win's coming for Vinnie Scholes. But right now she's running in 2nd. She's got a lot of desperate drivers behind her, that's for sure. Just look at the list of drivers in the top 6. Aside from maybe James Harvin in the 50 car, all of them are kind of racing for their future. So very interesting dynamics here at the front. And the 62 hooked the bottom pretty well here. She's going to get underneath Tajima again. I don't know how many times they've been side by side for the lead this run, but it's been probably more than I can count on one hand. Oh, here comes
the 28 Adrienne Wheeler, 3 wide bottom for the race lead. Does he have enough momentum to stick it down there, though? I don't know. Is he going to try and send it into 3 and 4? No, he's not. He's going to try and back it up. Maybe try and get a decent run off. He's going to still get underneath the 99 in Tajima and is going to clear the 99 off of turn 4. And here comes the 50 as well. James Harvin trying to follow Wheeler through, now underneath Tajima for the 3rd position. And what a charge of drivers we've got coming up through the field here. Adrienne Wheeler, James Harvin, Luana Connie. Got a lot of interesting drivers here coming through the field. Ought to have a good finish on her hands shaping up as Zach Dearman now underneath. Holly Martin trying to take 6th back. This is going to be a spectacular run here for Zach Dearman, as pretty much all the cars in front of him have now had their fair share of issues. It doesn't look like Tyler Landry has been able to really recover much. No, so he probably sustained some damage in that. You've also got McCarron back here struggling. And I think did the 88 of Joe Smith retire from the race?
He was out. He was involved in that accident.
Yeah.
There's your pick to win. The 65 Jack Gino. He's running in 7th, so I'm not sure if he has race winning pace.
Wheeler
but he's definitely got
to the
top
lead.
10 pace, and Adrienne Wheeler's taking the lead away from the 62 of Vinnie Scholes. Akiya Tajima following suit in 2nd. Scholes will drop to 3rd. Luana Connie and James Harvin are battling each other for 4th. Dearman kind of lurking in 6th. He's 8th in points. He's just about the only car in the top 10 that hasn't had an issue today. Tajima and Scholes still battling side by side, but it's for 2nd this time as the 28 of Adrienne Wheeler is trying to make it 2 consecutive wins for Checkered Flag Racing. Try and get not only his first win of the season, but his first top 10. And we are closing in on the end of this race. There's only 9 laps to go. The things are going to start getting spicy here at the end of this race at Kentucky.
Definitely Tajima trying to reel the 28 back in as they're going side by side for 3rd back there. Letting these top 2 pull away. Tajima got a good run there off of 4. We're looking to the inside of Wheeler, trying to take the lead back away. And Harvin's going to clear Scholes back there, but is now going to go side by side with Luana Connie, trying to make their way up to 3rd. But Akiya Tajima's going to clear once again for the race lead. But we've seen that Wheeler is fast. I have no doubt that Adrian definitely probably has an answer for that 99. And there's your answer right there as Harvin goes up the track. He got damage on the left side, so I wonder if he got doored.
I think he got into it with the 62 of Vinnie Scholes, as once again for the race lead, here comes Adrienne Wheeler. He actually led that lap over Akiya Tajima. We've got 7 laps to go in the race, and it's getting heated up front between the 28 and the 99. Will it be one of these two going to victory lane, or will third place Luanakani be able to reel them in? She is closing the gap. If these two continue
And they're
swapping the lead back
crossing
and
it
forth,
over again.
she'll definitely have a shot, and it's crossover central here in turns 3 and 4. Tajima back underneath Adrian Wheeler. Here comes the 25 and the 62, making a run for it, and Shauna Everett's shown back up into the top 5. Could your pole sitter maybe get a run going here at the end of the race? Here comes Connie for second.
Connie going for second now. Wheeler wasn't able to get back down there, and that is going to open the door for Luanakani to potentially take second away. We'll see if Wheeler can maybe hook the outside, but it looks like that's not going to be the case. Connie has some help on the inside there from the 62 of Vinny Scholes, but is that help going to be any help for much longer? But Scholes is going to Scholes is going to back up the entry, trying to get a good run off, but isn't quite going to get it. But Luanakani now up to second, and these guys battling has let Akia Tajima pull away, but we'll have to see. These guys can probably catch on Tajima pretty quickly if they try hard enough. They're all kind of linked together. Oh boy, this is going to be a good finish here. Just got a few laps to go here from Kentucky. This isn't over yet.
4 laps to go. We got a train of drivers all trying to run down Tajima. Tajima's putting down some pretty good lap times, but here comes Adrian Wheeler underneath Luanakani trying to take second. He's got to make some desperate moves here for sure. But I don't know about this, honestly. I think they'd be better off working together to try and get to Tajima in the first place rather than fighting each other now. But Wheeler does take over second. He'll have 3 laps to run down the 99 of Akia Tajima. And now Scholes is going to go underneath Connie for third. We'll see if anybody's able to get that run on the 99, or will the 99 just be able to coast out there? It looks like Wheeler's starting to close in, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if he has enough to make one last move on him.
Wheeler might be closing in, and you mentioned earlier the 57 of Shauna Everett, your pole sitter, making one final charge up here in the top 5, now going for third on Luanakani. And this is probably good for Adrian Wheeler, because Wheeler can just focus on trying to catch up to Akia Tajima instead of defending from the cars behind. Shauna Everett, though, did not get a good entrance to turns 1 and 2 there, and is going to back it up. Connie looking to the inside of Adrian Wheeler. That's probably not what these guys want, although Wheeler's going to stay clear. But is Wheeler close enough to catch Tajima? Tajima might be too far out at this point. They're pitting! We got fuel mileage!
Car's running out of gas at the end. It was kind of close on fuel. White flag in the air, 1 lap to go for Akia Tajima. We'll see if he makes it all the way around. They're battling side by side for second, so I don't think they're going to catch him unless he has a fuel issue. Going through turns 3 and 4. Akia Tajima looking for his second win of the season as they fight each other for second. He's going to make it home. Akia Tajima wins here at Kentucky, and for second, Wheeler gets it over Connie. A bit of unexpected fuel mileage right at the end of the race. It was awkward timing for the caution, so I'm not too shocked about it, but still. Oh, wow, look at that. James Harbin, a lot of drivers that were having good runs, foiled on the last lap.
Boy, oh boy. Wow, what a crazy finish that was. Great job there from Akia Tajima, managing to hold the field off. And, well, honestly, it looks like only 8 cars were able to stretch the mileage, because James Harbin pitted there on the last lap, but still finished in the 9th position. So I don't think he really even lost anything by pitting there.
They're still going around the track. They're not done yet, so I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it says the 25 and 62 retired, but that's because they pulled into their pit box before everyone was done going around, and now it looks like everyone's finished up. So, well, that was an interesting ending of the race, and you're right. Only about 8 cars managed to make it without pitting. Harvin might have pitted on the last lap. I don't know. We'll see. A chaotic race here at Kentucky for sure. Congratulations to Akia Tajima for getting his second career win. He got his first career win at Evergreen last season. Early in the year, after he had a race he probably should have won at Las Vegas taken away from him due to lap car shenanigans, and now I guess the lap car shenanigans kind of helped him a little bit indirectly, but he definitely had to fight for it for sure. He and Vinny Scholes swapped the lead back and forth several times. Then he got into a battle with Adrian Wheeler, but he outlasted them all, and Akia Tajima, the second most popular driver in the series, A lot of people are going to be happy about the Akiya Tajima win here today. A lot of good runs for drivers that needed them here. Zach Dearman, despite running out of fuel in the last lap, still finishes 10th, so he's going to get a lot of points. Vinny Schultz finishes 4th today. Luana Connie, Adrian Wheeler, of course, we went over them and their struggles this season. Both of them didn't score a single top 10 in the first half of the year. Now they've both got one, and they both have a top 5 now, and Luana Connie has an additional top 10 that she got at Denver. Shauna Everett finishes 5th, just an all-around solid race from the 57 car. Started on pole, was up in the top 10 most of the race, and came home with a good finish. Holly Martin, back-to-back top 10s. Maybe they're starting to gel finally over at McPicky Motorsports, and that's definitely nice to see if she can keep that up. Jack Gino in 7th. Adrian Fearson with another outstanding run in the 52 car. She kind of faded towards the end, but she managed a good finish anyway, so not much to complain about there for the 52 car. And James Harvin with a top 10. That's his first top 10 in the Cup Series, so again, definitely not anything to complain about for sure. He beat his brother, so bit of bragging rights there. 14 cars finished on the lead lap. 22 cars finished the race. Of course, there were 2 massive accidents that took out a majority of the field, and Cooper Spur retired because he blew up under the ensuing caution. Well, Caleb, that was definitely a chaotic race, that's for sure. Could you give us a bit of a rundown of how that race went, and maybe give us a preview for next week at Milwaukee? Milwaukee's a very interesting racetrack. I'm curious to see what you'll think about that.
Boy, oh boy, yeah, what a crazy race that was. Said pre-race that this race would be chaotic, it would be fun, we'd see a lot of passing, a lot of lead changes, and I think it checked pretty much about every single one of those check boxes. That was an absolutely incredible race here from Kentucky, which isn't usually said very often. But yeah, that was a great race here from Kentucky, and great job there from the 99 of Akiya Tajima getting it done, and going into Milwaukee. That's going to be a really interesting race. Ought to be some good old classic NR short track action. Ought to be a lot of fun. And it'll be exciting to see how the race goes. Usually, I think it's pretty strategy dependent as well, if I remember correctly. So that ought to be really interesting to see.
Tire strategy is very important at Milwaukee. We saw a very fun race last year with Cooper Spur managing to drive through the field and get his first career win there. Maybe we'll have another outstanding finish like that at Milwaukee. And Milwaukee's a very underrated racetrack. Usually the flat ovals aren't that great in NR, but Milwaukee is an exception. Milwaukee's pretty fun. So I'm definitely looking forward to that race. But this race was an absolute it was crazy, just like we expected. We had just about everything here in this race, and Akiya Tajima was able to outlast them. So congratulations to him and Columbia Motorsports, who have been kind of struggling a little bit this year as a team. I think like all their drivers are around each other, just outside the top 20 in points. So well, Herndon was leading them in 19th, and then it was Chanot in 20th, Tajima in 21st, and Hollenbeck in 24th. So, the team that won 5 races last year kind of struggling this year, but this is their second win. They got their first one with Kobe Hollenbeck at Iowa. Hey, you know what? That's race 8 and race 16. So maybe their next win will be race number 24, if you believe in patterns like that. But yeah, this was an outstanding race for sure. And thank you to Caleb Rose for joining us in the booth once again. Always fun to have him up here. And on behalf of Caleb and myself, this is Brennan Wilmington from the Left Turn Network, signing out.